Hello, welcome to Assembly for today. So this week, it's a kind of exciting week. We've had Sports Day, which has been really, really good. I was so proud of everybody's behaviour, the way that everybody listened, the way that everybody stopped as soon as Mr. Webb said to stop, and the way that everybody joined in. You were absolutely brilliant. So well done, everybody. Thank you for doing that. That's great. This week, the theme for our assemblies is God Save the King. That's the title of our national anthem. And the reason for that is that this Saturday is King Charles III's birthday. So we're going to find out a little bit more about King Charles. And I know we did this when we had the coronation, when King Charles was crowned last year. But because it's an annual event, it's a good thing to do. So a good thing to remind us about King Charles and all of the things that he does for us. Now, when you're thinking about this, I want you to also have a think about the global goals, because a lot of the things that King Charles has done in his life reflect the global goals. So see if you can spot where that happens. Okay, so we've got one of the Little People Big Dreams books, because we know these are just such really cool books. They're absolutely brilliant, and we all really enjoy reading them in school. Oh, I need to go back a page. So when little Charles Philip Arthur George was born, the bells at Westminster Abbey rang out for a royal birth. He was the first son of the future Queen of the United Kingdom, which meant that he would one day be king. So it was a very, very important day, and everybody knew he would be king. So can you imagine growing up knowing that you're going to be the king of the country? That's a really bizarre thing, isn't it? Because you guys now are growing up knowing that you are not going to be king. I grew up knowing that I was not going to be king. But imagine being a 5-year-old and wanting to go out and play with your mates, or play football, or I don't know, whatever, play on your Xbox, but actually going to be king as well. His mother became queen when he was 3, and he was named Prince of Wales 6 years later. While his parents were busy with their royal duties, the Queen's mother gave him all the hugs he needed. She also encouraged his love for art, music, and nature. His father was a practical man who wanted his son to stand on his own 2 feet, so he sent him to a boarding school where the future king could rub shoulders with other boys. Far from home, Charles felt quite alone. There we go. Can you imagine going off to a boarding school? So that's a school where you sleep at overnight. And you might have your own room, or you might be sharing a room with other people. But your parents send you there and you stay there. You have all of your meals there. And you spend your weekends there, and people look after you. But then you're in lessons with all those people, those boys that you're living with. Things got better when Charles decided to go to university in Cambridge. He studied history and became the first member of the royal family to earn a degree, to get a degree from university. In his spare time, he explored his artistic side, performing in plays and concerts. So keep thinking about our global goals. Hoping to be a good prince for the Welsh, Charles spent some time studying at a university in Wales. He wanted to learn about its people and its language, but many were not happy with his visit, and he was met by furious protesters and people thinking that he shouldn't come and be prince. So I wonder what you think. Should somebody from England go to another country, go to Wales, and be prince there? Should they just be told that he's going to be their prince? What do you think? Have a talk in class. Okay. So to get away from the attention, Charles took long walks into the mountains, all alone, surrounded by meadows, trees, sheep. He was no longer the English-born prince, but just a young man falling in love with Wales. He promised himself to always do his best to protect those beautiful landscapes and the whole natural world. Have we got any global goals yet? Yeah, I think we might have there. What about life on land? Definitely. Charles was 21 when he gave his first speech defending the environment, long before global warming became a well-known issue. Ooh, have we got another global goal? What do you reckon? That's right, we've got climate action as well, haven't we? And after completing his duty serving in the Royal Navy, he used his final wages to create a charity that helps young people to fulfill their dreams. Is there another global goal in there? What do you think? Talking class? Tell your partner? That's right, it's reduced inequalities because age is one of the protected characteristics. So the Prince's Trust is the name of the charity, and it helps young people to do things that they might not otherwise be able to do. So it's making sure that everybody has the same chances in life. And the time came for Charles to find a wife to share his royal duties with. And the day he got married, millions of people worldwide watched the ceremony on television. Lady Diana, his bride, looked like a fairy tale princess. And I think I was about 7 or 8 when that happened. So I was the same age as some of you. But the couple had very little in common and ended up separating. Sadly, Diana died 1 year after their divorce, leaving a deep hole in the hearts of their 2 sons, William and Harry, and of the whole world. And when Charles married Camilla, his closest friend for 35 years, they bought a farm in Wales, far away from any palace. And there he planted trees, talked to his plants, and ate organic food, inspiring others to live in harmony with nature too. So again, we're back to that global goal. That's something that has been right the way through King Charles's life. Charles worked on hundreds of good causes that needed his support. He brought governments and companies together to protect the environment and urge world leaders to do better to preserve our planet. So right the way through, he's really been an inspirational person in standing up for those things that he believes in. So as his mother grew older, Prince Charles took over more of her duties, from making speeches and meeting important visitors to travelling overseas. And Charles was a 73-year-old grandfather when the Queen passed away and he became king. From then on, he promised to serve his people with love and respect, just as he'd done since he was a child. It had been a long journey for little Charles, and after a lifetime of preparing for the job, he hoped not to let anyone down. So, there you go. We have the story of Prince Charles and some photos of him from different points in his life. So there is the young Charles in 1968. Okay. Now, I think the king is a pretty cool guy because he has given his whole life over to being there for people in our country. He's dedicated his whole life to doing it, and he's used his voice, he's used his chance, his ability to for people to listen to him, to really say the things that he believes in. And that's really, really amazing that he can do that. It's easy to let things happen that aren't right. It's easy for me to take my can here, it's a bit blurry. It's easy for me to take my can and not recycle it. And that's my decision. Of course, I'm going to recycle it once I've finished drinking it. But Prince Charles didn't just do that about himself. He has tried to persuade everybody in the world. He knew that people would listen to him because he was the king, and he tried to persuade all those other people. And that is why I really respect the king for that part of his life. I think he's done a very important thing. Now, you might have heard in the news recently that King Charles has been poorly. He's not been able to do some of his job as king because he's got cancer and he's been getting medical treatment. So I hope that he gets well. I hope that he feels okay, and I'm sure that everybody else would join with me in wanting the best for the king and hoping that everything is okay for him. Right, there you go. Have a think about that, those global goals. Okay, so King Charles really, really strongly believed, or still believes, in those global goals of life on land and climate action. And it's his birthday on Saturday. So see if you can make a difference in your life. What can you do? Okay, so have a think about how you can make that difference in your life and see if you can do that, because the king has led such an inspirational life doing it for you as well. Okay. See you soon. Bye-bye.